It is an immense pleasure and pride to honor this esteemed gathering at the Global Heat and Cooling Forum. As we were discussing, this forum could not be more timely as we prepare for another scorching summer in Delhi, exceeding the temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius. It's clear that climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is the biggest challenge we face today. Heat stress is the silent crisis reshaping our economy, our health, and our communities. And we cannot afford to look away. As a physician, I have witnessed what heat can do to a human body, whether it is dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke, which could turn fatal. For the last 25 years, I was also in US working on an EdTech, mainly staying in indoors. I really didn't experience that much heat. But over the last 1 year, I started contesting in elections, and I did 2 to 3 months of intense campaign in April and May, which is the hottest months in India. At least I could remember at least 3 or 4 times I was just close to heat stroke. Because so that is the effect that heat can do. And not only that, heat waves have already claimed over 11,000 lives since 2009, making them India's deadliest natural disaster after cyclones. But the impact extends beyond health, as many of you know. By 2050, it is estimated more than 200 million people will be affected, and our GDP could cut down by close to 4.5% because most of our informal workforce dependent on outdoor labor. Therefore, the heat is not just a climate issue, it is a human crisis. As the mercury rises, access to cooling is no longer a privilege and it becomes a fundamental right. So as the demand for cooling increases, we must also ensure that people have affordable and sustainable cooling measures or cooling solutions. So recognizing these risks, our Honorable Prime Minister, the visionary leader, Sri Narendra Modi ji, has taken a decisive action by becoming the first country in the world to develop a comprehensive cooling action plan. By promoting energy efficient cooling systems, phasing out harmful refrigerants, and prioritizing vulnerable communities, we are paving the way for a cooler, more resilient future. And in this spectrum, rural India faces the brunt of extreme heat. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall, and prolonged droughts directly impact agriculture, food security, water availability, and public health. But rural India is not just vulnerable, but it is also the heart of solution. Recognizing this dual role, the Ministry of Rural Development, under India's comprehensive whole of a government approach, has proactively introduced sustainable measures. For example, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, called Manrega Act. It has helped create climate adaptive infrastructure, including water conservative systems, shade plantations, and drought mitigation projects. Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, the rural connectivity road, connected nearly every remotest village so that even during the extremes of the climate, people have access to all weather roads. And then Jal Jeevan Mission. The idea is to provide safe drinking water from sustainable resources so that every household, regardless of the climate, can have a clean water. And then we implemented one ambitious mission Amrit Sarovar project. This is rejuvenating close to 68,000 water ponds, that is effectively covering every district around 60-70, so that the local water availability and the soil health will be improved. And this was done on a mission mode and completed by October 2024 last year. Additionally, we have taken Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchaya Yojana watershed development program. This will create some check dams where it's needed, so the soil erosion can be prevented and the groundwater can be recharged. So as climate extremes intensify, we not only took the action at the field level, but we started working at the housing level as well. And this is where Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Gramin, comes into play. Since 2016, we have built over 3 crores, that means 30 million houses, providing millions of rural families which are economically disadvantaged with safe, dignified and resilient homes. But now, with the World Bank, we're going one step further with this SHIELD project. SHIELD is nothing but sustainable housing, integrating efficient living and disaster resilience. And it is designed to make rural housing cooler, more energy efficient, and more disaster resilient. We are embedding climate adaptive designs, energy efficient technologies into new housing construction. We are also strengthening access to affordable credit, ensuring that families can invest in cooling solutions without much financial burden. In addition, we are also integrating this Awas Yojana with another path-breaking scheme, Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana. This is basically giving subsidies for these households. By investing a little bit, they can install solar panels on the rooftops where they could utilize their own generated power for their house and then sell the surplus power to the grid. So again, it's creating local resilience. So these are only some of the schemes that I have mentioned, but every state at their own level are doing some innovative things, as earlier just Telangana State Chief Secretary has mentioned. So the government will not only stop here and will continue to innovate and find creative solutions. So I wanted to thank everyone involved in this conference, NDMA, DST, NRDC, the World Bank, for taking the critical discussion. And I hope these insights and innovations from this forum will shape not only India, but around the world, some creative solutions. Before I conclude, I want to put 2 ideas. One should remember that India has long revered nature as an integral part of its culture, and its traditional knowledge systems have always promoted sustainability. This is not new to India. For example, in my own state, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, community managed water tanks, millet-based farming, and homes built with local materials such as clay naturally combat drought and heat. So these low-cost rural innovations should guide national climatic changes and strategies. So policy must not only serve villages, and it must learn from the rural villages. And finally, protecting and replenishing the natural resources is not the job of a single nation or an organization. It is a collective effort. If governments, businesses, professionals such as architects, educators, NGOs, citizens, and another powerful partner, technology, join hands, I have no doubt, we can educate, stimulate, and ultimately cultivate the path to a truly sustainable future.